So there seems to be a fundamental issue with the DJI Action 3 that means most people are going to want to buy the Hero 11 Black instead. Now, there seems to be an issue where the Action 3 appears to be out of focus. So right now, let's take a look at some of the footage and I'll show you exactly what I mean by putting it up against the GoPro Hero 11. So here we have a comparison between the GoPro 11 footage and the DJI Action 3. Now, if we freeze here and zoom in, you can see the level of detail is much better with the GoPro Hero 11. In fact, it looks as though on the DJI Action 3 that I'm totally out of focus, even though I'm between 50 and 60 centimeters away, which is almost double the minimum focus distance on the DJI Action 3. Now, the background by comparison actually looks to be in focus much more than the foreground. But when you zoom in, it does appear as if everything is just slightly off, whereas the GoPro seems to fare much better. In this comparison, we can see the people at the bottom corner there look pretty blurred, as do the trees, whereas on the GoPro, everything looks reasonably sharp at 200% zoom. This time, let's zoom in 300% so you can see by these comparisons in the brickwork there is a major difference. So I wanted to do a more scientific test, so I suspended the cameras 45 centimeters above this grid here, and then as you can see, when we go in 300%, we have the same issues here. It's out of focus looking. And you compare that with the GoPro looks very sharp by comparison. I decided to bring in another camera. The Insta360 One RS, again, looks better than the Action 3, which is a much newer camera. In these tests, I placed the cameras at the 0 centimeter mark and then placed boxes at 30 centimeters, 40 centimeters, and 60 centimeters away in order to see the focal distance in play. And from these tests, you can see again, at 300%, the differences between the three cameras. And of course, I brought the Insta360 back in the fold to see how that compared again. There was one more finding I had. Using a diopter or close-up lens, I was able to bring everything back into focus with the DJI camera. Now that, unfortunately, feels like the final nail in the coffin that there's something wrong in the hardware. DJI have said that there might be an issue with some of the units, and they've also tried to put out a software update in order to combat this, but that has not seemed to fix the issue. So whether there's a hardware fault or if it is something in the software, we're not totally clear at the moment. People's point of view will be really useful in this situation because a lot of people are quite concerned that their action cameras aren't going to be performing to what they were hoping they would. So DJI, hopefully you can fix this issue, because obviously you've created a whole load of other products that are absolutely fantastic, but when you see Action 3 footage up against Action 1 footage, and the Action 1 footage looks a lot cleaner and sharper, you know that there is something wrong at the moment. It's looking like you should really hold off from buying the Action 3 for the time being until we've got confirmation this issue is fixed. If you want to stay updated, then subscribe, ring the notification bell, and then you can be kept up to date with any further developments on this story. And as ever, I'll see you in the next one.